What is up, y'all? Today is the day that we have been waiting for years. UFC 303. It was going to be the return of the notorious Conor McGregor, but he's in rehab. So instead we got Alex Pereira versus Jerry. I'm not even going to try to say the last name. Alex is going to absolutely destroy Jerry. It's not even going to be close. But I think what I want to focus on today is the co-main. And there's a couple different things I want to talk about with the co-main event. So we got Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopes. Now, what's interesting about... keep hearing a rattle. There we go. First thing when I first heard the fight is I was like, dang, Diego kind of getting thrown in with the big dogs a little bit. Now, to give full context on that, though, I haven't ever been a big supporter of Brian Ortega. I've never been a big fan of his. I'm not going to critique him at all in this video because certain things in my life have changed recently, and now all of a sudden I find myself I'm going to be cheering for Brian Ortega tonight. But I'm still going to be honest about what I think is going to happen. So even with Ortega not being someone that I consider like one of the best, I felt like Diego was, getting thrown in with someone maybe a little out of his league. Another way to look at that is Diego is getting a big opportunity to prove that he is capable of that. Now, when I go picking my fights, especially if I want to bet on anything, I got certain ways I look at it, certain things I look up. Well, basically when I'm going and I'm looking at Diego's stuff, it's like, he's been finishing everybody quickly. And I feel like he's kind of just had the fights are all just kind of odd. It's like the weirdest thing ever happens. He never quits fighting and ends up winning. Like he got kicked in the dick really hard in that one against, was it Yusuf? I don't remember. So, that's just kind of the basic context on it. Looking at it from the outside, I felt like Diego was a little out of his league, but I don't feel like Brian is like just some top of the food chain. I'm going to be bouncing around the different things I want to talk about. Something else. So yesterday, and it's early yesterday. It's like I work nights. So like I got up at like 5 a.m. and I went and ran by 6. I think I went to the grocery store and then I cooked breakfast. And I think when I ate breakfast is when I watched Chael Sonnen. And when I watched Chael Sonnen, the video was like 19 or 15 hours old. So it was from Thursday. The video Chael put out was from Thursday, and he would have needed time to make it and edit it. So it was probably at the earliest Wednesday night. I think that's fair. Could be wrong. It could have been Thursday for sure, but I feel like he made the video Wednesday. All right. He spends the whole fucking video talking about how Brian Ortega is actually the favorite, or should be the favorite. Ortega, if you go to the betting sites, is the underdog. I think when I put a bet in on the card, I'm not going to give away my bets right now. When I put a bet in on the card, though, and just looking at everyone, I'm wanting to say he was plus 120, was Ortega. And that caught me off guard. That caught me off guard a lot. And now I feel like he's just plus 15. I feel like it was more than that. He might have been plus 140 at first. Anyways, when I saw that he was the underdog myself, even before watching Chael, I'd already seen and realized that. And I was like, I didn't expect that. Chael goes on to say in this video that was made Wednesday that the fight's at 155. He doesn't even announce, Chael doesn't present it as though he's sharing with us and bringing this new information to us that it's 155 pounds. He's spending 10 minutes talking about how 55 is going to favor Ortega. Every single comment is like, Chael, the fight's at featherweight. Chael, the fight's at featherweight. I even end up like, I'm about to post something talking about what Chael said. And I'm like, man, let me Google this and make sure, because I'm pretty sure this is 45. And I do, and it still says 45. In fact, it wasn't until right when they got on the scale, or maybe an hour before, none of us knew until they got on the scale that they were doing 55. They didn't share that with the public very well, if at all. And then I'm just not even sure. That's just weird. I don't get how that happened or why it happened. So after it occurs, now I'm seeing, I slipped up with my words and I saw an article. I didn't bother clicking on it today because I was like, man, this is already weird. It was saying the co-main event got changed up an hour before they jumped on the scale. Well, we know that's not possible because Chael put the video out before that, way before that. So a guy not even in the facility of weighing or in either camp already knows that the fight's at 55. And he's not talking about anyone missing weight. Like Chael he usually gives people a hard time if they miss weight. They don't fulfill their obligations. He's not doing it like that. So why didn't they tell us sooner? Why didn't we know about that? And then in the beginning, I was thinking, all right, 55 is going to favor Ortega. I don't know if it does now. The same benefits that Ortega has, to where he's not going to be as tired, he's not going to be as worn out, he's not going to be as drained, which is what us Americans do for whatever reason. Diego's going to have the same advantage. I feel like there was one more element to this that caught me off. It's really hard. One of the challenges doing this driving, I can't have like notes. It's not like I can read something while I'm doing this. Like, this is always all off the top of my head. So I guess I'll get into my... No, I do remember what the other thing was. So as the week's going on, I don't know if I want to share everything, but I've got reasons to where I feel connected to Ortega now, and I will be cheering for Ortega. Prior to these changes in my life, this would not have been the case. So I'm watching Embedded and getting familiar with what the fighters are doing. You've probably all seen this. Ortega is taping his mouth shut during training to help keep him focused. And man, I like that. Oh, I like that. I felt like even just in the little clips that we saw right then where he had his mouth taped shut, you could see him staying calm and actually listening to what his coach was saying. Like, he was even stopping and like looking at his coach in the eye. There's 90% of communication is nonverbal. And I feel like that taking one of our five senses, you know, you can speak, and we're taking that away all of a sudden. So now all of a sudden you can't speak. It's going to tune up everything else. Like, you're going to listen to things better. You're going to think a little bit clearer, more in depth. I really like that. I hope that does something for him. The one thing though, I never seen Ortega getting too excited. If anything, I would say the issue with Ortega is he's never amped up enough. He's just too calm and too chilled out. He's always acting like he's not acting like he's just real mellow, like he just smoked a blunt or something. Like, he's always just chill. So I don't know. I know I like that idea though. I like that tape on the mouth. And I'm always big on just trying something new, do something different, be different. If you do the same thing everyone else did, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Copy everything Muhammad Ali did, it's not going to work today. Everything's different. You got to come up with your own things and innovate. All right, I guess straight to the prediction then. Ortega versus Diego Lopez. If I am truly giving an assessment on what could happen, Diego's way to win is going to be coming out with a lot of pressure. Diego can absolutely pull this off in the first round with just pressure and striking. He can outstrike Ortega for sure. But Ortega has shown the ability to be durable on a level 10 times the scale of anyone Diego has faced. If Ortega were to start answering with the strikes early on and not play casual and backing off and whatever, I feel like he would do very good. But I see him being laid back and casual, and I can see him eating some shots. On the ground, I feel like it favors Ortega, but not as strongly as someone might think. Like, the commentators, especially when he got to fighting Volk, really got big on, like, talking about Ortega's grappling skills. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a good grappler, but he's not like Ryan Hall, you know what I mean? Like, he's not, I don't know how to explain it. I can see it. If it's on the ground, I feel like it favors Ortega, but honestly, Ortega plays so much off his back, I don't see that going well. So I feel like what needs to happen in this fight for Ortega to pull off the victory is Ortega needs to come out, if not with pressure, with power. And what I mean by power is when Diego's trying to put pressure on, I would really like to see Ortega planting his feet and getting heavy on a couple strikes. He doesn't do that very often. He's always backing up and always circling. It would really be interesting to see him plant and put some power on his shots. I feel like that would slow Diego down. Diego gets a little crazy and his head gets to going everywhere and he can lose his eyes. That's where I'd like to see Ortega capitalize. I'm still taking Ortega. I don't think the fight goes the distance. I wish I knew if it was 5. I'm assuming this is 3 rounds. If it was 5, it's definitely not going the distance. But I'm taking Ortega. I'm going to say Ortega by rear naked choke, to be honest with you. I figure they're going to get in the grappling sequence or whatever. Ortega's going to get the better on the strikes, and in the chaotic scramble, I think Ortega is going to get him in position, and then it's just going to be a matter of time. It'll be a rear naked choke. And I'll say it's in the second round. But those are my thoughts on our co-main. I don't know if I'll get any more videos out today. I got a lot going on. But like and subscribe if you like listening to my videos. I can't believe this has gone on this long. Oh, I made a video the other day and didn't even like put it on my Facebook or anything. Like, I just made it and I ended up falling asleep, and then I woke up and I had 200 views and some comments. So thanks. I don't know how that happened. And I also still have a video amongst all my videos where there is a code word. And if you put that code word in the comments or you message me, the first one to ever say that code word gets $10 via PayPal or Cash App, or I can mail it to you if we got to do it that way. But thank y'all for your continued support and watching and all that good stuff. Y'all have a good one.